Hey people, although this is part two, I'm going to start at the top on this one. I started on the 10th line, part one, and I'll go over it again. So it starts here. This is, 1 Timothy 5, and it starts with this word, the elder, and this is the press in what ear. And so, when you get old, you have a hard time hearing. And you're pressed in what ear. And then it reads backwards after this iota script, so it's the orit too. The orit, the speech too. And then the B is in, the same thing, the press in what here, or the press butter, old and slow. The press in what here, the orit too, insert. You're trying to hear what the orator's saying, but all he's trying to do is insert, to seize and hold by force without a legal authority. And so they just say, an elder, but there's a lot more meaning to that, you're pressing in what here, what the orator's inserting much. This is MH, and the H is same. This almost reads the same as the Hebrew. The H is CH, much. Much the perplex. The perplex. Much the perplex. You stop it here at this H and then read it backwards. The hex, hill, pipe. Pipe. Somebody's singing their pipes. Much the perplex. The hex, hill, pipe. Says, SHS. You're reading, you turned around, then you come back to this S, and then you read to the mark again, back, SHS. The press in what here, the orator insert, much the perplex, hex hill pipe, says. Allah, Pericles they, as pate Ra, as fate of Ra. Allah, in Italian they say Allah is two, and it's like every language would give it a different meaning, but the ancient Allah, it meant the God, Allah, and all through the Hebrew Bible you'll see, all the words they say God all have that Allah in them, ALE, but Allah. And then I told you in that last movie this is Pericles. And this is poets making fun of, and they spell words different ways and have different meanings. And if you look at all the ancients, you'll see they have many different spellings for the names. It has different meanings. But Allah is para. Para means to protect. To protect, call they. The God's protection call they. As, this is one of the few words they get right, as the fate of Ra. In Egypt, when the king died, he became the son Ra. That's the fate of Ra, the father. It's the son. And Neo, Neo is new, but neuter whose. The neuter whose, as neuter, to cut your nuts off, the neuter. The neuter whose adel, worthy foes, worthy enemies. Adel is a worthy, adel is in noble. A worthy, noble foe is an enemy. To neuter whose as a noble, worthy enemy. And so I told you in that last movie, that this was Pericles, and I knew it, it didn't matter about the different spelling, there was an I, but the story in here is the story of what they say Pericles did, So when it has the S at the end, the AS, they'll give it the feminine now. It's all the same words, except here it was whose, and now it's the AS at the end. So the father is Ra, the sun, and the mother is the earth, the terras, which is a word for earth. And so the press in waters as much terras, much earths, much territories. And this word waters is, two terras. You take the waters to get to different earths, to different terras. The pressing waters, and that's what Pericles did. He pressed all the waters and collected all of the earths. He was pressing the waters to collect all these city-states. All the city-states, the black dots, and all the territories of the yellow. And so all this yellow is now territories of Athens. Press in waters as much terras. New terras a saddle fasten. A saddle fasten. Passes a page in. They, P-A-S-H-S, passes backwards and forwards after this. Passes a page in. They, age, A-J, age in Ga. And so Ga is the base word for great or big. And it means, Ga, that's huge. Ga. That's where your word mega come from. In gallon. We drinking whiskey by the gallon. Everything that's great, is big, is Ga. The pressed in waters as much terras. The new terras a saddle fasten. A saddle says your new horses. A saddle fasten. The passes a page in they, age in Ga, in great. Then a new paragraph called Honoring Widows. And this is cherish, or the chair as. And I believe it reads chair as here and cherish here. To cherish the time it has on it as. Here's has, A-S, has. The time it has on it as. Chair as. To cherish your time on the chair. The chair is the throne. They debts. They, D, it means to remove. And then tis is it is. And when you put it to remove, it is, it's debts. It's things that are being removed. Debts. They debts. Chair. Taken. Heel. This is he, and this EK replaces the L. Anytime you see it by itself, it's just they say it means from or of. And it's a L. It's a cross from the Hebrew L, and it just means of. They debts, chair, taken, hill, gona. And so, the gyna, G-U-N-A, is the woman, and the gona is the male. That's where your word gonads come from. Your gonads sit in the same place that a female would have a gina. And so they debts, share, taken, hill, gona, the men. Each they, the X is the CH. Each they maintain it to's on proton. Proton isn't the first. A prototype, is the first type, not the finished product. But the proton tone, a tone is a frequency, a shape, a color, a size, and the proton tone, the first type tone. And this IDI, the ID is the hand in the Hebrew, and it's the same here. And so this is IDY, handy. Handy on, weak on, who. EU is who. Who Sabine. That was 2 movies ago I explained Sabine. But Sabine is the way that the Jews wanted the women in the king's court. They wanted them Sabine. Sabine is the rape of the Sabines, the submissive women. And the handy on weak on who Sabine, who submit. And a mobaz. This is where your word mobile comes from, and mobilize. And a mob has a way, a po is a way did on ya. And to a mobile, and to move away did on ya. To is the progenies. And so, progenies, it doesn't mean parents. Progenies is your children, your progeny, what comes after. And you can see it, inside the word, the pro is for, the forging, what you're creating. And then the OI is how is. The forging, how is. Taught to garrison. Garrison is troops stationed in a fortress or a town to defend it. And it comes out of this word, rest, the rest in, arrested. And you would take a town and you would set up a garrison to place your troops to rest in. And then a po, po, away, and the EK is the L's. And so this is dealt on, away, dealt on, in a peon. And probably about 4 or 5 movies ago, I showed you about Peon, and he was the follower of Theon. In a peon to thee who. They debt is share taken he gonna. Each they maintain it to's on. The proton tone, the first type, handy on weak on who Sabine, who submit to a mob as away did Anya, to his progenies, taught to garreston, away dealt on, in a peon to thee who. And so this is no way she who is now, but this is he would, he apostrophe de, he would unto share, to me mono men, to me one man. And this IK in here is like. And so this is the help like in. The help like in epithyon. Epithyon. Like apathyon. Apathyon. Lack of interest on. And force many to is. Pro. For. S. Force. The force men they. Many. To his disease in. Disease in. And to his force who chase nuktos, who chase the nights to come the rise, to come the mornings. Ooh, that's the first 5 lines. And these next are short. If my computer's loading up, I got too many movies saved. I got to get me a new hard drive and get a bunch of these movies unloaded out of here. So I'm going to cut this off here, and I'm going to start here at line 6 in part 3. Good day.